So basically, the question that I got is, one of you said, I have a problem, what to do after the opening, and which side to attack, and which side I have to respond to my opponent's attack and make a counter. This is a really good question, I think. And let's talk about this. I mean, I'm not sure who actually had the white or black pieces here, so I would sort of appreciate. I think it was in this game, it was black who is the student because okay, now we've got the black pieces. I'm going to flip the board. So we begin. I'm going to go quickly over that in other games so that we don't take so much time from the other things I got to show you. Let's go. So in this game, there was like the opening started kind of nicely. I will go through it quickly. This is the so-called London system. Now, I want to say that in the opening, now this is not the topic of today's lecture, but I have to say it has a great influence. The opening development and the structure, how to make it, is something incredibly important in terms of how we get to develop our pieces and what we get to do. And so, I mean, like, for example, after knight d2 and all, it's kind of valuable that we do, I mean, there is a chance of bishop to the d6. And I've always said that if we're going to play a good opening, we have to fight for the center squares, as well as get a possibility to play the pawn to c5. See, if you get a bad pawn structure in the opening, if you move the knight to close your pawns so that you don't get enough good activity, if you don't get enough space, then you're not going to be able to plan that easily in the middle game. And so for this reason, I want to tell you, if you're playing the opening, don't focus so much on theoretical variations and ideas, but rather focus on how you can get a good opening position, a good structure. So knight c6 wasn't one of the most precise moves, but I want to clear the question that has been asked to me. So the question is what to do when the opening is completed. And we can say that the opening is being completed right now by black. You got the rooks connected, so what to do? And the first thing that you need to know about planning is that planning really doesn't start when you want it to start. See, you must have something really important, which in chess we call features. Features in chess are very valuable because essentially when we actually have good features, good opportunities, we could make more, we can get more options, we can get more attacks, more things to play with. So that is like a really essential thing to have. I mean, what we realize that black has in this position is that he's got this nice looking pawn out there. And then we also realize that there is the knight on the f6 that's just very, very nicely played. So this is kind of cool. Now, white, of course, has his bishop on h7 and everything. But yeah, so one of my first suggestions is if there is a chance or possibility, think of getting those features like piece improvement, good control, and like resources, and then we can go with more of a planning strategy later. The move of a5 was played, which is not a good way to get features. Now, features are added by making those small improvements we need. So, for instance, what could be a good idea to play in this position? Well, I guess we have to ask ourselves, what do we need? And I think a black needs just one thing. He needs more space. He needs more room for his pieces. So how about a move like knight e8, which, as a matter of fact, once it's placed, then in case white goes to play with queen h5, there is a chance to plan for f5 to block the bishop, and we're going to be able to play with the move of knight f6, and then you realize that, yeah, that's going to guarantee a little bit more space. Focus on what you don't have. And, a lot of chess players tend to do that all the time. They really tend to focus on what they don't have, what they have. And what they don't have is like, what are the problems that I'm having in my position? The thing is, after the move of pawn a5, g4, there was nothing. You see, really, a5 and bishop takes d5 up here are sort of empty moves, and as a result of that, white gets to attack the knight, then he gets to play with a move of pawn up to g5, then he has the chance to go against h7, and now, like, literally every single piece that black has is presently on the backside and being located, which is not very convenient, So, knight e8. Now, I know what you're going to tell me, Valerie, this is a backward move. You don't want me to play like that, right? Well, I do, actually. When it's going to give you the chance to gain space and control, when he has an immediate, shot, then it's not so bad. And so that's what you have to be more careful about. After this, bishop takes e5, d takes d, knight e8, g5, and then queen h5 was led to g6, and